What's up, everybody? Welcome to Southern Life. The question that we're answering today is it possible to buy a house for under $20,000? A lot of people in the United States right now are wondering, hey, Jose, I'm homeless, I'm disabled, I'm elderly, I'm not able to work anymore, and I have a small amount of money. It's not a whole lot of money. Is there anything? I mean, I'd rather live inside of a dilapidated building than be homeless. And so the answer to that question is yeah, there are built. It's better than being homeless, basically. And if you can rent a house, eventually you're just gonna run out of money. So there are a lot of things to look out for. So this is just my opinion. And again, there's no absolutely no association. So association disclaimer. Got nothing to do with these realtors or these properties. And again, there's a lot more information you need to look into. But as a general idea, are there houses out there for $20,000? And can you just move into them? So that's the question we're answering today. And this one's part of a historical society. So this one may not be a good option. Just to give you guys an idea, you're not always, when you're buying a house in a really low price range, you're not always a victim. Like the person who owns this property, this is and again, every city's gonna have different rules, different regulations. It's gonna make it different. And I know if you're watching me, you're probably getting annoyed at how many live stream notifications you've got. I'm really sorry about that. It's just we're having some horrible problems with the internet, so I'm glad. I think now we're finally staying online for enough time to keep this going. So I live out in the woods now, in the middle of nowhere, and it's been really, really hard to get a solid internet connection, especially for my computer. So believe me, I've been at this for hours trying to show you guys this video. So I'm working hard for you with what I got. Anyways, y'all. So this property right here, they're asking $15,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It's a 3,000 square foot home. So this home, basically, it would cost more money to fix it than it's ever going to be worth. And this house might be worth $110,000 if it was complete. But to get it to that point, you'd spend about $200,000. So it's really not worth an investor touching this house. So even though they're asking $15,000, you could offer $7,000 to $6,000 for this house, and it's yours. So in theory, right? This was built in 1850, and because it's part of a historical society, it may not be a good option because that historical society may not let you. So you're gonna have to check with the local town and say, hey, can I move into this house, even though it's probably uninhabitable? A lot of places are going to say, no, you can't do that. But there's are some cities, especially here in Alabama, where they don't care what your house looks like. So you're going to have to do a little bit of research into that. So anyways, I want to show you guys a bunch of houses for under $20,000. And that's just a basic introduction into why some houses could be worth $20,000. And even then, you can get an even better deal than that. It's just to give you guys an idea of what it's really like out there. This one's one of the nicest ones. It's a giant house. I mean, being close to, being within city limits and being close to downtown, this is one where you would really want to check with the city and say, hey, can I move into this house? And again, a lot of people are homeless right now. There's people that are on fixed incomes, and what they get is basically nothing. $1,200, $1,300 a month. If you pay $800 in rent or $900 in rent, there's pretty much nothing left for you to live on. So maybe somebody like that, if they have a little bit of money, they're willing to pay it up front, just how a place lives. So that's what this video is about. Can you find a house? If you're in a tough spot and you're a tough person like me, when I first started off, now we have a really decent house. Our house now is on, our current house now is on almost an acre, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We started off in the hood. We started off in a house that was practically uninhabitable and would have probably got condemned if somebody reported it. But we lived in that house for a while without paying rent. Rents at the time were like $1,100 a month where we were living. So being able to buy a cheap house and live in it allowed us to create enough net worth to, in the future, be able to live decently and not have to be a slave to paying rent. So it's definitely a sacrifice. This is not something for a weak person. It's for somebody who's really willing to make some dedication for their future. So here's one in Montgomery, Alabama, in a very dangerous neighborhood. We've done some live streams and drive arounds this area here. But this one, it's concrete blocks, so you don't have to worry about mold on the walls. And it doesn't show the ceiling. Maybe there's no leaks. Usually most of these houses are going to have issues. But notice that there is a AC window unit in the back, so it may actually have air conditioner, electricity, and water. So this could be a livable house. It's probably in horrible condition, and but it might be something you could live in if you had to. And it's within walking distance. Like if you have a criminal record, no driver's license, etc., etc., it's within walking distance of downtown Montgomery, where you can get access to like stuff, you know. And there are companies in the area if you want to work. There's a lot of industry in this area, so this could actually be like a bike to work scenario. And notice it's got metal bars on the windows. The front window doesn't have metal bars, but you put a piece of plywood, and you don't have to worry about nobody breaking into your hood house. So this one is definitely an option. And what I would start if I were buying a house this cheap is I would start talking to a realtor and say, hey, I want to buy a house in this city. I got $20,000 cash out the door. That includes your commission. That includes everything. We're not going to do a survey. We're not going to do an inspection. I got $20,000 or 15, whatever you got. I got that much money out the door. That means I'm writing you a check for $15,000, and that needs to include every last little detail, closing, everything. So, yeah, it is possible, and it's a huge sacrifice. But if you make that sacrifice, you can step on to better things in your future. Not 95% of people won't do it, but there's a small percentage of people like me. I started off in the hood, and definitely, if you make that sacrifice, you can get out of poverty. And this one's in the town of Tallahassee. Now, I interviewed the mayor of Tallahassee, and he was an awesome guy. He actually invited us to his town, gave us a tour of his town. And this is a town where there's a lot of vacant properties. In fact, there was an article in a newspaper about vacant properties in the city. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000-square-foot home built in 1940. And this one might not be too bad. It looks like it's got window units, and that's usually a good sign. It means there was somebody trying to live in it recently. If it's got a modern air conditioning, it hasn't been empty for 20 years. So this one could be an option for somebody. Now, another thing you can do is you can call the mayor of a small town, like one of these small towns, and say, hey, I got $20,000, I got $15,000. Is there anything in your town, back taxes, city auction, whatever? And you could probably get stuff like this off the city directly, or the city might know somebody who they're in the process of working with because the house has been in bad condition. So if you can call these small little towns and say, hey, I need a house in this price range. Does it exist? Probably the mayor's office would be a good place to start. In a lot of these small towns, the mayor, might be able to answer the phone directly. So, so that's not a bad option either. Make sure the town has a Walmart at least. If you're if you're doing this and you're looking at Alabama, make sure it's a town that at least has a Walmart and a Walgreens and a CVS. You don't end up in a city that doesn't even have that has those things. So the town needs to at least have a Walmart, but it's the type of place where if you have a bicycle or you can walk, to Walmart, that's awesome. It's all you need. If you're on a fixed income, you're disabled. If you can at least walk to Walmart, there are options out there. And again, a lot of people, it's better than being homeless. So like, let's say you get a settlement, or an uncle died and he left you $17,000. You could rent for a year, or you could buy a house and have somewhere to live longer. So believe it or not, there are people in those circumstances. And the first house that we bought, we actually inherited it, but we ended up paying off the mortgage off of it somehow through the family. So what we actually had to pay was, eventually what we ended up paying when we bought the house was something like $40,000. It was completely uninhabitable, but it's the only option that we had. And while we were living there, at least we had a toilet and a shower, and we were able to save money and not pay rent, and then we were able to progress to where we are today. So definitely, if you're a young person with a disability or a criminal record, and you're just tired of being evicted, I've seen houses here in Montgomery in really dangerous neighborhoods. But again, a lot of people just don't have options. I've seen houses in really dangerous neighborhoods in Montgomery, like this one. It's a cheap little house. This house might be inhabitable, and it may just be a $20,000 house. Maybe not in the best shape, but better than being homeless. A lot of homeless people, they'll get $10,000, they'll get $20,000, and they think, I'm never going to be able to buy a house with this kind of money. You can in Alabama. It may be in the hood, but it's still better than being homeless. Believe me, there's nothing like being homeless. If you at least have a place to throw your mattress on the ground, that's amazing. if you're watching this live stream, you're welcome to talk on the subject. And most of us haven't experienced those harsh situations, but there are people out there that need this information. So I hope this video can help somebody out there. You know, you can buy a house here for $20,000. And there are things you need to look out for, like I said. So there's something that you're going to have to take a lot of time and do a lot of research. This one's also in Montgomery. It's sold for $20,000. This one actually has the best curb appeal out of all these houses in Montgomery. And for the most part, the interior isn't even that bad. It's contingent. I mean, somebody bought this house for $20,000. Now, I've rented places worse than this, and I've seen people renting places worse than this. So this isn't even all that bad for $20,000, you know. You can definitely talk to a local realtor in a city like Montgomery and say, hey, when something hits the market for $20,000, let me know. So this one is actually not that bad. Now, these photos are never going to show you all the things that are wrong with a house, but it doesn't seem to be horrendous. This one doesn't. It's already contingent, means somebody's already working on it. But look at this. It's got a decent yard. It's got some okay curb appeal. If you're a young person on a limited income or disability or something, there are young people who are disabled, you know. They can do small little things once in a while. This ain't a bad option. I mean, it's got, looks like it's on a concrete base. That's always good. You can just strip the floors off of it, and looks like they got some hardwood floors that aren't even that bad. So, yeah, you can actually find stuff in the hood, of course. You're not going to find it in a decent neighborhood. But, hey, it's even got a concrete slab. It's got a fenced-in yard. It's got some curb appeal. If I was back to being 18 years old with, you know, no high school diploma and $20,000 cash, I would buy this in a heartbeat, even if it was in the hood, because at least I wouldn't be paying rent. And little by little, you start fixing it up. Next thing you know, it's worth $40,000, $50,000. That $40,000, $50,000, you buy another house, and you keep doing that, and you know, you can get out of poverty or at least improve your living conditions. We're living in a time when a lot of people are going homeless. I know the state of Florida, for example, has some of the worst homelessness that it's ever had before. The situation of homelessness in Florida right now is horrible. Don't know houses were that cheap. Yeah, I mean, these are houses that are in the hood. And you can't, like, I got a livable house for $65,000 on an acre. You know, with a concrete block foundation. It had a roof leak. It took $7,000 to fix it. I could have just thrown a tarp over it and cut out the mold. I mean, quite literally, I spent $7,000 fixing my roof. But let's say I didn't have $7,000. I could have just put a $20 tarp on the roof and cut out the mold, put it in garbage bags, and that would have cost me $12 to get rid of the mold and $20 to cover up, you know, the roof with a tarp or something. And boom, you know what I mean? Like, there are ways for people. Of course, mold is something that's very dangerous. I'm going to give you guys a warning. You can quite literally die from mold. So, but you can also die being homeless because you're exposed to the elements. So it's not like poor people don't have too many options. But this one's not bad. For $20,000, this person got a deal. And I'll give you guys another tip. Most of the really affordable houses that you're going to find are actually not even going to be on Realtor, because Realtor is kind of a more professional platform. On Zillow, you'll see a lot of for sale by owners because you don't have to pay to get on Zillow. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and Zillow, you'll see a lot of for sale by owners. And of course, if you're an inexperienced buyer, I recommend that you find a local realtor and have that local realtor be the one to take care of everything for you, because there are a lot of scams out there. So don't be a fool. Pay the realtor. The realtor is going to know so much information. It's going to pay off. So trust me, you're better off paying a realtor their small commission and using a realtor. A lot of these really cheap properties may not end up on Realtor. It's incredible how some of these houses are on Realtor. Most of these houses, you're gonna find them on. You're gonna find these houses mostly on Zillow, Facebook Marketplace, and you know, Facebook groups is a great place to ask as well. Is there anybody that has? Because a lot of people will have a property and they'll think it's worth nothing. But again, this is to help people that are homeless and that are willing to really sacrifice. They have a settlement, or uncle died, or grandma left $20,000, and you're thinking, I'm gonna go back to rent. I'm just gonna blow it all on rent. I'm tired of paying rent. Hey, I was there, and I said I am tired of paying rent, man. I remember when I was, during the 2008, 2007, during that recession we had, I remember being on the phone with my landlord, like, please let me. I'm doing the best I can. There's no work. I want to pay you this rent. If you're tired of being in those situations because you're a high school dropout, you got a criminal record, you just need some stability in your life. You come into $20,000. You know it's not enough to buy a house. You may find a house in the hood. And again, anything's better than being homeless. So I know it's a lot of explanation, kind of sounding redundant at this point, but there are people out there that have these situations. So here's one in Birmingham, absolutely in the hood. It has some curb appeal. I mean, I can see me scratching off that mold. It's got some banana trees. It's a flat roof, so you could easily put a tarp over that roof. If that roof, and you might even find a tarp that's not blue, so it's not so obvious. You could find a black tarp or a, you know, and even a metal roof. You could probably put a metal roof over this house yourself with $1,000 in materials. I mean, it's a really simple roof, and $1,000 in material, you could do this roof yourself. It's not that bad to re-roof a house like this when the roof line is so simple. So it's got a really nice yard up on a hill, nice piece of land. So the interior doesn't look horrendous. It doesn't look great, but it might be inhabitable. It looks like it's got a washing machine. That's always plus. That sink might have water running through it. The bathroom looks horrible, but it may just... You know what always angers me about houses in the hood? I understand being poor. But just because you're poor doesn't mean you have to be dirty. This house has some good bones. Look at those 2x6s or 2x8s they use on this house's frame. Notice how it's not plywood on the roof. It's actual real wood roof. It's got a real wood panels on the roof of this house. It's not actually OSB plywood. House has some good bones to it. Just sadly, it's in Birmingham. So, anyways, yeah, really bad hoods out there. But again, different, tough situations. Let's keep it rolling, guys. I'm still thinking this one's in Montgomery. Now this one's 12,000. Let's see here where this one's at. We'll find out where this one's at. Looks like it's okay. It's in a bad neighborhood, of course. I'll tell you what I like about it. This one here, it's a block house. That's awesome. Block means, less mold issues, less water penetration problems. I like that it's got metal bars on the windows. When you live in the hood, that's always a plus. You don't have to worry about somebody breaking in your house if you've got metal bars. So already I like the fact that it's got some got a block structure. And an investor would never touch this property. But if you're homeless, you would. You know what I mean? Like, usually it costs more to fix these houses than they're going to be worth. So from an investor's point of view, this is something you don't want to touch. So this is not like something I would recommend to you as an investment. But it's definitely, if you're homeless, for $12,000, I mean, crap, you can't even buy a decent car for $12,000 nowadays. So yeah, it's got metal bars in the windows. It's got some landscaping. Again, these old houses have really strong structures. So you'd have to go in here, tear out all that. You got some roof leak issues. Maybe put a tarp on the ceiling, on the roof. You would have to get rid of the mold. The mold will kill you. Every single little bit of mold has to be taken out because mold will kill you. So wherever there's water damage, that has to be taken out. I don't understand why they put this type of flooring. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. Undoubtedly, it's old enough to even have asbestos in it. So this one, you would have to tear off all this drywall's got to come off. You can dig a hole in your backyard and burn it. You can burn garbage in Alabama, or I'm not sure if in the city of Montgomery they'll let you, but you can either burn it or you can just dig a hole in your backyard and just throw all the drywall into a hole, and boom, you're done. You don't even have to pay to get rid of it. So again, we're thinking poverty here. And I've done all this that we're telling you in the past when I was a young kid, because I was decided that I wasn't going to live in poverty, paying rent in the hood the rest of my life, and we got out of that. So effort and dedication, 10 years of effort and dedication can definitely pay off. You will have to do some bad things as far as living conditions, but mold will kill you. You have to get rid of the mold. But this house looks like it's got some good bones to it. So you strip out all that drywall again, make a pile in your backyard and burn it all in Montgomery. They probably wouldn't give a crap, but mold will kill you. So will lead-based paint. So all this has got to come off. But again, you're paying $12,000 for this one. So if you had $20,000, you could spend $5,000 on a metal roof. You know, hopefully the water flows through it at least. You know, Caribbean credit score, career professional, 3 months down payment. What's requirement for paperwork to live somewhere in Florida or Alabama? I don't understand your question very well. What's the requirement paperwork to live somewhere? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You might have to rephrase that question. But welcome on board, my friend. We're just talking about, you know, people who don't have too many options. For $12,000, I would buy this property if I was homeless. If I had $20,000 and I was homeless, I would buy this property. Probably spend $5,000 on a roof. I would pick up all that drywall, dig a hole in the backyard, and bury it or burn it, or little by little throw it into the garbage can. But I would get all that drywall out of there immediately. You know, because the mold will literally kill you. Mold is poison to the human lungs, so it needs a lot of work, but it's got a good, you know, it's got a good foundation. It's got you could probably get this house kind of livable, I guess, with very little. All you really need is for the toilet to flush, y'all. If the toilet flushes, you're ready to go. This was in Dothan, Alabama. Dothan's got some serious hoods. It's a nice city, Dothan. It's got Starbucks. It's got Publix. It's got golf courses, but it's also got hoods, and this one is probably in the hood. You got a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot home on a quarter-acre lot. That's not bad at all. This one's got a green trim line. Let's see what the interior looks like. Looks very old and outdated. You can tell people were living in this house way longer than they should have by some of the details in here. There's definitely people living into this house way beyond the point where it was livable. Doesn't look like too much mold. Looks more old than mold. And again, I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to get rid of mold if you're doing something like this. Every last little bit of mold can kill you. So anyways, this house probably isn't too bad if there isn't mold, too much mold. It's going to have mold somewhere, but if it's, doesn't look too bad at all. I mean, I'm sure there's houses like this in Miami renting for $800 a month probably. I mean, it's got hardwood floors in some spots. You rip out the carpets if they stink. You paint the walls. I mean, with $100, you can paint an entire house. I got a 5-gallon bucket for $20, and it was actually worth $240, but somebody mixed the wrong color, so you can get paint for nothing, quite literally. So it's got a nice little fireplace. Jose, what about Talladega? We'll look at that in a minute, okay? Nashville, I'll look at that one in a second. To move somewhere in Florida or Alabama, how does it work? Requirements to live and move. I'm saying, mister. Requirements to live. I still don't understand what you mean, requirements to live. As far as like how bad a house, you're going to have to elaborate and explain a little bit better, my friend. Because there's so many, I don't really understand your question well. Configure your question differently. If you're in the city, they will not let you live in a house that's in bad condition. Usually the cities have stronger building codes. I know the city of Montgomery has incredibly difficult building codes. So Montgomery may not be the best place to buy a house to renovate it if you're not going to pull permits. But other places may. So this is in Dothan. So maybe you'd have to call the city and find out, hey, buying this house, I'm just going to live in it. Do I need to pull permits to this or that or that? I know at the place that I'm at, I'm not within city limits. I'm actually within the county, and you can build a whole house here without pulling a permit. Not within city limits, but outside of city limits. This one is in Pittsview, Alabama. I have no idea where that is. I'm not going to open up the map right now because we're having a lot of trouble with the internet connection, so I'm just trying to keep this as minimal as possible. I'll try to click on it. Hopefully it's already loaded. I don't know where Pittsview is. Let's take a look here. Hey, y'all. Welcome on board. We're looking at houses under $20,000. Actually, I really don't want to be opening the map because it can crash my internet. and we'll lose the live stream. That's why I already have these tabs open already. I'm just gonna zoom out here. Let's see where this town is. Oh, wow, it's in the middle of nowhere. This is a really bad area. I've been to Hertzboro. I drove through there. I recorded a video, and I didn't upload it. The good thing is you're not too far from O'Falla or Columbus or Union Springs. There's nothing in Hertzboro. So the closest town is Hertzboro. They have a gas station and maybe a convenience store. And it's not a very friendly town. It's actually pretty crappy. No offense if you live there, but from my opinion, this is quite literally the middle of nowhere. So this is a house that probably won't even sell for what they're asking, which is only $12,000. It's quite literally the middle of nowhere, but it is on an acre. And if it's on an acre, so like this is probably one where you can do whatever you want. It's not going to be within city limits because of where it is. It's probably outside of city limits. So here's a house where you could buy this house with an acre of land and do whatever you want. If the septic tank is good and it's got a well that works or city water, you're set. You can park a camper. You can buy this house for what, $12,000? They're asking $12,000. You could probably, I would buy this house if I just had $12,000 laying around. I'd probably buy it. I'd offer like $8,000 or $9,000. It's got an acre of land. It's near a creek. It is a really crappy area of Alabama. You definitely need a car to live out here, a truck or something. It's not somewhere decent for sure. I've driven through. It's a very remote area of Alabama, but I've already, Jose. Even though it's the middle of nowhere, I've already been there. Oh man, I'm hilarious. But it's got an acre of land, so you're getting an acre of land. It's outside of city limits, so you probably don't have to pull permits or anything. I mean, this is a house where you could park. If it has a septic tank that works, you could park an RV camper behind it and just live in the camper. You get what I'm saying? You hook up your. Forget about the house. The house doesn't even exist. Let's pretend that it has water flowing to it, has a well, or it might have city or county water, and it has a septic tank. Most likely, it's not going to have city drainage, sewage, but it'll have a septic tank. If the septic tank is good and working, you park a little fifth wheel camper behind that, and you're living. The county's not going to tell you anything out here. You can do whatever you want. And little by little, you can start, getting materials and fixing it up little by little. And maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, the little house is livable, and you got your little camper out back. You know what I mean? So definitely, there are options for really poor people in Alabama. This is one for somebody, and this is mostly an African American area. So I don't even in the rural parts, it's African American. So out here, it's pretty mixed out there. I'm asking, when you move into your place, what's needed for you to move in terms of ID or down payment? Could you cook my Cuban sandwiches, my wife and my family? Oh yeah, you gotta have a down. So we're not looking at down payments today. We're looking at cash money. So if you have $20,000, like this is $12,500. If you have $12,500, you're buying this property. That's all you need to buy it. $12,500. Maybe $500 for paperwork or something. It won't be a lot. To connect to the water and electricity, it might be like $500 for both. I know for us it was $500 for electricity and $100 for water. That was a deposit to connect, and that's it. The realtor's commission comes out of that $12,000. Probably the realtor has like a flat minimal fee for something like this. So probably the realtor's making $1,500 and the homeowner's getting $11,000 or something like that. Whatever. Great live, awesome, yeah. Jose, probably like this one, 216 Roanoke. Oh, I've been to Roanoke already, so give me a second. I'll get to you in a second, Nash. I'm trying not to browse the internet. I already had these tabs open. I hope you understand, Nash, that I've really, my internet's really crappy here in the woods, so my internet's really crappy here in the woods. So basically, I don't want to start browsing the internet. I don't want to start browsing the internet, so I'm afraid to, here I'm launching a page. Couldn't find what you're looking for. I'm sorry about that. It didn't show up. But anyways, I'm sorry, Nash. I don't want to browse the internet right now. I could actually crash the internet because of how we're live, and that's important. So let's just not mess with that. Um, I looked at those houses. I own my house outright in Indiana for less than 10,000. Yeah. So angry black man, what's up? Angry black man from the hood. Welcome on board, my brother. Nice to see you again. I'm just trying to show people that there are ways for you don't have to be a renter for the rest of your life. You know, you could grab your income tax return and buy a house in the middle of nowhere, start fixing it up little by little, and not have to be a renter for the rest of your life. I didn't, and I lived miserably. I'm not gonna lie and tell you it was great. It was the most miserable 10 years of my life. But now, I got a house for $44,000 that was uninhabitable. I got 107 for it when I flipped it. Now I bought a livable house for 65, had money left over, and here we are today. So you can start with nothing and work your way up. But if you're paying rent, making a minimal salary, man, you can spend your whole life like that and never get ahead. So that's what we're talking about today. It's kind of a weird subject because we're usually helping people that are a little bit more monetarily off. But today I wanted to make a video. This is in Phoenix City. Phoenix City's the hood. Take a second to soak that. I'm going to grab a water real quick, y'all. Can you check it out later on live stream? I will, Nash. But on this live stream, let me see if after I look at the ones I have, I'll try browsing the internet. But it's probably if I start looking for stuff right now, it's probably gonna make the internet crash. Again, I live in the middle of the woods. I spent 30 minutes trying to adjust the hotspot with an internet tester to see how much signal I could get. I finally found a weird position where I got good signal. Y'all soak this in for a minute, y'all. $18,000 in Phoenix City, Alabama. Soak it in. I'm gonna drink some water real quick. I gotta grab water. Whew. Man, I'm going hard on these live streams, y'all. I really am going hard for you guys. Ooh, yeah, buddy. Let me grab this water real quick, y'all. So this one, and I haven't been drinking enough water with this cold weather. I'm gonna dehydrate. Today I was out there working, and I got a muscle contraction and clamps. I got a muscle cramp because, you know, with the cold, I'm not used to the cold weather. I'm not drinking water. I don't think I've drank a single water today. That's not good. I had a sweet tea. Definitely not good. I need to start drinking more water. My body thinks because it's not hot that I don't need to drink water because I'm used to Florida. Very bad thing. You can actually hurt yourself like that. Alright, guys. So this one's in Phoenix City. Probably my least favorite city in Alabama. Absolutely hood ghetto place. Not only currently is it a bad place, historically, the city has been like a mob town since like the 40s or something. So very trashy place. They find me. They have these cameras that are speed trap cameras, and they have red light cameras. And I actually paid my welcome to Alabama. Was paying Phoenix City. And notice how it's spelt wrong. Yeah, they actually spelt the name of their city wrong. There's supposed to be an O in there somewhere, and there isn't. But anyways, Phoenix City, I paid them a $100 fine. Let's look at this crappy ghetto house. $18,000. It's got metal bars on the windows, and that's usually a bad sign. However, if you're buying your house in the hood and it's got metal bars, that's great. You don't have to worry about somebody breaking in. Easily breaking into your house. So it's good that it's got metal bars on the windows. And if you see, it's even got metal bars for your air conditioner right there on the left side of the house. This one doesn't look too bad. It looks like somebody did some repairs. You can see some drywall patches. Actually, that's a brass chandelier. That chandelier could actually be worth a lot of money if it's if it's like German or from like, you know, the right, if it's like the right country, the right brand. That brass chandelier could be worth a lot of money. Looks like it's got some hardwood floors, which you could probably just paint over them with a really strong paint. It doesn't look that bad, actually. At least the bones, and they were trying to fix it. They already ripped out the bad floors. They already did some drywall work. So, hey, somebody's already put some work into this one. And it looks pretty solid. The bones look pretty solid. So this one may not be that bad for $18,000. Just about. I will try to in Ashby. I'll look out for you in the future, okay? So here's one in Phoenix City. Absolutely ghetto place to live. Built in 1940. Probably on gambling money. All right, y'all. Here's the next one we're looking at. This one's in Columbus, Georgia. One of the most ghetto-licious places. However, if you have a criminal record, this would be a great place to start a criminal enterprise. You might have a lot of competition, but well, this one's one bedroom, one bath on a very tiny lot. I think it's kind of overpriced unless it's livable. Yeah, there's somebody living in this house. So here's a $14,000 house that somebody's actually living in right now. It's got stuff in it. They're living in it. Crap. So look, they even got internet. They got a computer in there. So this is actually a livable house for $14,000. It's on a small lot in the hood. I mean, you're gonna deal with. You definitely want metal bars on the windows on this one. You'd probably surprised they haven't stole that computer. So this is definitely straight up in the hood, but it's livable. They're living in it. They got electricity. Look, they got the lights on. So they got electricity. They got a computer. So this one's definitely livable. Doesn't seem like it's got mold or anything like that. So here's a completely livable house for $14,000 in the hood in Columbus, Georgia. And guess what? It's probably not the only livable house in Columbus, Georgia. For that price range, $17,000. Okay, it's probably the only one on Realtor. There's probably more like that. Horrible place to live, by the way, Columbus, Georgia. But hey, poor people just need a place to live sometimes, you know. All right, this one's in Birmingham. It's $14,000. Avenue X. This one's got some really good curb appeal, actually. This one's got potential, and I think it's got a big lot. Yeah, it's got half an acre lot. It's in Birmingham. It's up on a steep climb. Half an acre lot. It's a good sized lot. It's actually got good curb appeal. It doesn't look bad from the outside. They don't have photos of the inside for this one, but the bones look solid. I mean, this house, a little metal roof, probably won't cost you $5,000 on a house like this. A little, and that's paying a company to do it. $5,000 to get a metal roof. The bones look good. It might just need interior work. It looks like it's got a basement even. You know, this one might have some potential. You know, who knows, right? All right, we'll keep it moving here. That's the one in Birmingham for $14,000. This one is in Bessemer. Bessemer is a suburb of Birmingham. I believe it's on the southwest side of Birmingham. Even there's some suburbs on the west side of Birmingham that, even though they're suburbs, they're pretty crappy, and this is one of them. Now this one looks like I did some stucco work, and it's got some mold going through it. So got a front porch to chill on. It's a seller's market right now. Yep. So this one, okay, they got some weird stucco work going on it. They got, it's got a driveway. It's got some grass. I mean, some houses don't even have grass. It's got grass. It's got a driveway. It looks like a gas pipeline going to it. It's got some stucco work. Huh, doesn't look too bad. Looks like somebody was trying to paint it and they kind of quit halfway through it. This one actually ain't that bad. This one might be livable, actually. They got some Mexican tiles in the kitchen. It's got a sink in the kitchen. Ooh, it's got a bathroom that kind of looks usable. It looks like that toilet you might be able to poop in there. It's like it's got, this one, it might actually be livable, guys. This is actually probably the most livable one we've seen so far. It's got some hideous woodwork and stucco work, but it might actually be. Why would you paint it black? I mean, you're already in the hood and then you're going to paint it black? That's depressing. They got tape holding that door together for privacy. Anyways, this house is actually not that bad. This one might be livable. Notice the kids' stickers are actually children. And this is what a lot of people that are, you know, a lot of people that are better off don't realize is people have to live like this, you know. Some people don't have options. Now, you can rent your whole life, and live like this. And you can buy it, and at least now you're not paying rent anymore, and fix it up little by little. These kids' stickers on the wall, there were definitely kids living in these conditions. A lot of rich people may not understand that, but yeah, there's people in the United States living like this. Notice the metal bars on the windows. That's always a good thing. In the hood. Is this a second usable bathroom? No, it's the same bathroom, but it's got a usable bathroom. This is actually not bad. I think it's got two usable bathrooms. So if you can't, one breaks, two bathroom house is really great in the hood because if one of them breaks, you got another one ready to go. So that's actually not that bad. I think this one might be the best one we've seen so far. And yes, people do have to live in these conditions. I've lived in these conditions. So yeah, there's definitely people. Let me go to some of these comments. I look at metal bars with a fire trap. The metal bars are like putting yourself in jail. My opinion, some of the fake safest most saves I'm in this house. Yeah, but then again, in the hood, you're more likely to, even if the metal bars, I'll tell you, even if the metal bars, let's say like they're not even on that strong, like something you can pop off. What I'd like to have if you have metal bars is to have a crowbar or something inside. They don't have to be solidly fixed. Somebody would just look at the house, see metal bars, and let's say the bedroom where you sleep in, loosen up the screws a little, and know that you can pop them out with, you can, or have a sledgehammer in your bedroom and know that you can just pop it out, or put a piece of plywood on the bedroom where you sleep and don't tighten it all the way. Know that it's something you can pop it out with a kick or something, but it's enough to where if somebody looks at it from the outside, they'll think that it's protected. You know what I mean? But metal bars are definitely a thing. Every house in Miami and Dade County has, just about every house has metal bars on the windows. So this one's probably the most livable one we've seen so far. And then we have this one. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, no photos. A hood Renaissance period house. This house is from the hood Renaissance period. A period of architectural styles that are still ghetto to this day. All right, Nash. So Nash just telling me some addresses to look up. We're going to try to look them up, and if the internet crashes, then go figure. What internet service provider are you using? I have right now currently on AT&T on a hotspot. It's the biggest garbage ever, but it's the only garbage I can get where I live because I live in the middle of the woods. In fact, let's do an internet test real quick, and I'll show you guys how. Actually, see, it's the last thing I was looking at. This is what I hate about this. You guys can see look at the last things I looked at. Pandora, Mexico murder rates. So let's do an internet test just so you guys can see where I'm at. It's actually pretty high on the download, but it's the upload that you guys are concerned with right now. That's not for this area. That's pretty good. And what I do is I have to move around my hotspot, and I spent 30 minutes to get my hotspot into a position where I could get this much up. See, this is bad right here, the upload. I can't even believe. There we go. It's a little bit higher. Okay. It was up to 2 earlier. It's down to 0.5, so it's a miracle. It's actually a miracle that we're still on the internet. I don't even know how we're on the internet right now. So yeah, that's part of living in the country. But we're making it work somehow. We're doing live streams on the street. Like tonight, I have a video I have to upload, and it's gonna take me. It's probably gonna take me. Here's the video I have to upload. I've already tried uploading it twice since in the last week. I've tried uploading this video twice, and both times it's failed overnight. So what I'll do is, like right now when I go to sleep, I'll leave it uploading overnight, and hopefully tomorrow in the morning it will have finished uploading. It's just part of living in where I live now, I guess. It's it's the woods. Hopefully in the future they'll change it. I might buy another hotspot. It's gonna cost me $300 in parts, and it's gonna cost me $100 a month. So I'll be at another $100 a month, and it's only gonna get me like a little bit better internet. I was thinking about using two hotspots, one for the first half of the month and another for. And I was just, you know what, whatever. I have internet. If I can just work with what I got, it's gonna have to work. So, um, anyways, this is a video that I made for you guys about a rural drive through Alabama, and pretty much it's just gonna have to wait. I'll try to upload it tonight. So Nash was telling me about an address. I could not live with internet like that, man. Honestly. Well, actually, the thing is, I can browse the internet as like if I want to look at YouTube videos, it's fast enough to look at YouTube videos live. Uploading is the problem. Okay. I can watch YouTube videos. I can watch anything I want on YouTube. The thing is transmitting it back to you guys. See, the problem isn't really what I like. If I'm watching a YouTube, it's fast enough to watch a YouTube video. I can watch YouTube videos. I can do anything I need on the internet. It's just running this live stream for 45 minutes. This thing's been 45 minutes long. Running this live stream for 45 minutes, that's what's really been a problem. That's what's keeping the internet from. It's not just that I can't, like, it's actually fast enough to use it normally. It's perfect for my personal use. It's just trying to upload it to the internet on a live stream that's too much. You get what I'm saying? So let me look at those houses you were telling me. And it is expensive and really crappy. I might switch to Verizon, but I just paid. The thing is, like, I feel like I'm stuck because I just paid $350 for this hotspot. You know, that little machine, I just paid like $300 some dollars, and then I paid $100 for the first month. So I got like $500 into this thing already. So to switch companies for something that might be better after I just paid I might as well just stick with it, you know, because I just put $500 into this thing. So yeah, either way, that's pretty much what's going on. I'm living out of my van in Montgomery to save money. I might buy a house here, keep it home in Indiana, and travel to the country. So you're currently living in Montgomery out of your van. I'm sorry, you know, you're doing that, my friend. I've lived through some hard stuff myself, so most people couldn't relate to that, brother. But believe me, I've slept in cars. I've been through it all. My advice to you is just keep saving money and eventually buy a little house in the hood, and it'll be a little bit better. Make some look at it as you're making a sacrifice for your future, but by no means get comfortable there. Don't tell yourself this is my life and that's it. You got to look beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to say, okay, I'm gonna get out of this. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you sharing that personal detail about your life with us here. Overall, there are other parts of the country where you could probably get a house for under $20,000. See, now I'm browsing the internet, and I can browse the internet fast. See how fast that popped up? The problem is, you know, if you're gonna be poor, you might as well be poor in the South. I mean, can you imagine like being poor in a cold place? That's not. You got to keep it in the South, man. But here's Evansville, Indiana. You can find a house definitely in. Here's one for $20,000. So in Evansville, Indiana, this one's not bad at all. So Evansville, Indiana. You can still find houses in Evansville, Indiana. They're real cheap. I don't know if you'll find anything in Clarksville, Indiana. You might be able to find a house in Clarksville, Indiana, for that price. I mean, once you get up north, the thing about living up north is, dude, you cannot pay me to live in Ohio or Indiana. If I'm gonna be poor, I'm gonna be poor at least like a block away from this house. I know where this house is. It's not $1. They made a mistake. I used to actually walk past this house. Nice. It's not $1. I can guarantee you that. It's in the. Yeah, I know exactly where this house is. That's weird. Louisville. You used to be able to get houses in Louisville for that price. But I'll be honest, dude. At least Montgomery, Alabama, has. I don't know, dude. I would be so miserable living like in Louisville or Indianapolis or Evansville, Indiana. At least Montgomery is in the South, and you're 3 hours from the Florida beaches. You know, you got some nice, milder weather. I couldn't imagine being homeless in Louisville, Kentucky, or Cincinnati or something. You know what I mean? It's horrible up north, I would imagine. Looking for houses in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's one for 20,000. And these houses in Louisville, these were $6,000 or $7,000 houses back in the day. Um, these are really dangerous neighborhoods, by the way. Um, really, really dangerous neighborhoods. These are like this one in Virginia. This is like a really dangerous neighborhood. This is called Greenwood. The Greenwood. I don't know what the neighborhood's called, but I know the gang is called Greenwood CNG. So very dangerous gang neighborhood. This house is in. I went to school in this neighborhood here in Louisville, Kentucky. So looks like they started working on it. You know, it's got a wood floor, so it's kind of like how much effort are you gonna put into a house that's got a? It looks like it's a solid wood floor though. Needs a lot of work, and it's in West Louisville in a horrible neighborhood. It's a black area, and it's a black area where if you're not black, you're not welcome. Uh, I'll show you guys where I went to school in Louisville, Kentucky. I'll show you guys where I lived. Let me just show. I'm gonna do something real special for you guys. You guys are with me right now at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Let me share something with y'all real quick. Hopefully the internet doesn't fail on me. I want to show you guys the first house that I lived in the United States. First place we lived was in Louisville, Kentucky. And as you can see, I can browse the internet at a really, this is actually a really reasonable speed to browse the internet. What could go wrong is the live stream could actually fail because it's too much for the live stream. I'll show you guys when I first moved to United States. Hopefully this doesn't crash the internet. It might not. We'll see. I'll show you guys where I was born. I was born in Cuba, right here, in the city of Camagüey. So there's the city of Camagüey. It's the largest inland city in Cuba. My neighborhood is called La Vigía, right here. And then you have La Vigía is a nice neighborhood, but it's adjacent to La Guernica, which is so everything in here. This is the black neighborhood in Cuba, right? All this is black right here. All this is a black neighborhood, and my house was right here in this corner, right here. So you see this little star right here in the center screen. That is where I was born, right here, where it says Vela Vista. That's where I was born. And so the next block over, this was the hood over here. So here, this is all black, all up in here. And when you get to about back here, it's not even houses anymore. It's kind of like tents and stuff. So when you get out to like the outskirts of the city, it's pretty much like tents and makeshift. It's basically slums like you would have in Haiti or Jamaica. So this is all like slums out here. I didn't live in the slums. Like these are the slums right here. You can tell the roads aren't paved. You know, this is all slums. So I lived pretty much adjacent to the worst part of the city of Cuba. So I lived right here. So my house was like the last house within the nice part of the city. And then from there forward, all these streets here, this is all the hood. And by the time you get back here, it's like mostly black Cubans. So that's where I was born in 1990. And I know the internet's pretty slow, and yes, there is a place in Cuba called Florida. So in 1996, we left Camagüey, Cuba, and we ended up in Louisville, Kentucky. So let's get ourselves all the way back up to Louisville, Kentucky. And yes, the internet sucks here. Like I said, I'm in the country, so it's pretty crappy. We're actually using satellite internet. It's not even like a regular line. So when we ended up in Louisville, Kentucky, I know this is frustrating, y'all. Oh, believe me, this is frustrating. So we ended up in Louisville, Kentucky in 1996. We ended up in government housing right here. If this thing wants to load. We might lose, y'all. Come on, y'all. So in 1996, we leave Cuba. I was 6 years old. And we ended up in Louisville, Kentucky. And very dangerous. I don't know if they have Street View out here. We might lose. There it is. No Street View. But basically, I ended up right here in this government housing complex, right behind the military base. So this is a really dangerous place. I lived between Hartwell and Kingston Avenue. Very, very dangerous neighborhood. In fact, uh, I know at least 7 people who've lost their lives here to street violence, and that's people that I know. There's even more that I wouldn't know about. So this is what it looks like right here. This is the first place we ended up in Kentucky. 1996, this is where we ended up. Government housing, Louisville, Kentucky. There was Iraqis, Iranians. In fact, I think there's a YouTube video. I'm kind of risking my luck here, trying to open up another page. But there's a YouTube video. I think it's called Cartel on Hartwell. And just to give you an idea of where I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, this is a music video. I'm gonna put the music down so we don't get copyright.
Pillow talk to a tip drill. 30 pounds.
Whoa, why does it have volume? There it is. So these are the apartments where I ended up when I ended up in Louisville, Kentucky. Very ghetto, very hood. This kid right here, I knew who he is. My mom used to babysit him. I think he's Haitian. So if here's who I think it was, because there aren't too many Haitians in Louisville, Kentucky, and he is Haitian. So I'm thinking I think I know this kid. If it's who I think it is. But anyways, these are the buildings where I ended up in. Very dangerous place. Pretty much, government projects and all that. Then from there, we ended up, we moved out of there, and we ended up renting a house for a while because my mom, she didn't like it. It was really dangerous. Like, you could get robbed going outside at night and everything. Like, it was really, like, we were literally scared to walk around at night. It's kind of like Montgomery, you know what I mean? Like, where you can get robbed. So we ended up renting a house. We were only there for like a little bit of time. Then we ended up renting a house I think it was this one with the red roof right here. We ended up renting this house because my mom didn't like. So we could have lived for free in government housing, and my mom was like, "No, we're not living in government housing." So we rented this house right here. So even though we could have got free government housing, my mom didn't want to live there, so we rented. Yeah, in the 1980s. Damn, avoid black neighborhoods, I guess. Not exactly. You lived in Louisville? Yeah, man. Louisville was tough, bro. I went to school. Go figure, bro, that I went to Muhammad Ali. I'll show you guys the school that I went to. So this was the house we rented for a while. And, my bus stop was right here on this intersection right here. My bus stop was right across the street. So we rented this house. Then we rented this house right over here. We're Southland. Louisville is very ghetto, ain't it, huh? What do you think between... Hey, I'm asking you a question, my brother. Between Louisville, Kentucky, and Montgomery, Alabama, which city do you think is more dangerous? Which city do you feel is more dangerous? Louisville, Kentucky, or Montgomery, Alabama? I'm curious on your opinion. Now that since we both lived in both cities, which one do you think is more dangerous? So then we rented this house over here. I don't know why my parents moved, but somehow they moved, and we rented this house right here. In fact, I still have photos in front of this house. Most of our neighbors here were Vietnamese. These people were American, and they were really cool. They used to have a pool in the back that they would let me swim in their pool. And I was really friends, even though the girls were a lot older. I was really cool friends with the girls that lived there, even though they were a lot older than me. And then here was an old lady, and lots of memories. So this house right here, we rented here for a while. My bus stop was right here. And one time I went to the bus stop, it was 11 degrees below zero. Angry black man You lived in Louisville, you lived in Montgomery. Which city did you consider to be more dangerous, or are they about the same? I'm really curious for your opinion. So, anyways, from there, I'll show you guys where I went to school. Well, actually, first I'll show you the last house we lived in Louisville. So, finally, my parents bought a house. So, they were finally homeowners. So, this was in 1996. Okay? 1996, we came from Cuba and we're living in government housing. By 1999, my parents were homeowners. Okay? It took 3 years for my parents to go from government housing to paying off a mortgage on this house right here. And I believe they sold the house for $95,000. And that was the money that they used to buy the house in Florida. My dad still has the house in Florida. So, I hope you're still on, Angry Black Man. If you're still on, I really like to hear your opinion between Louisville and Montgomery. And if you don't want to answer it, just say I don't want to answer it, or don't worry, whatever. I'm just curious. So I lived in this house right here. The people next door are Vietnamese. You can tell because they have all these tropical plants and stuff and beans growing. The problem was that living here in this house, and this was a nice house in a nice neighborhood. Like, it was all Vietnamese people, and the Vietnamese people, they were really well off because they've been in Kentucky a little bit longer. So I had to walk all the way to Carlton Arms. I think that's what it's called now. I don't, back then it had a different name. Colonial Oaks, okay? You can tell. Is this guy in his underwear? Look at that, y'all. This guy is literally in his underwear outside. Okay. That's Kentucky for you. So, I used to have to wait for my bus stop right here, man. And I was the only little Cuban. I used to get beat up every single day at this bus stop right here. Every single day, I would get beat up because my parents couldn't walk me to school because they had to work. So, I ended up having to walk to the bus stop. And I was the only Cuban in this out here. This is all Bosnians in here. They're all Bosnians, and I was the only Cuban, so I got beat up every single day when I used to live here. Every single day I got beat up because this in here was all Bosnians. Bosnians, I wouldn't say they were a gang, but every nationality kind of clicked up together, so it was really crappy. The Cubans were on the other side, and the Bosnians were on these apartments, so it was really crappy, to be honest, to be having to go to a bus stop with a bunch of Bosnians when I was the only Cuban. It was horrible. So I'm still trying to get a feel for Montgomery. I lived in South Louisville. What, dude? You lived in South Side for real, bro? You were on the South Side too, man. Oh snap, man. Yo, that's cool, bro. That's really cool. I lived in South Side. South Louisville's in here. Right? South Side's pretty bad, man. I mean, we got Americana, we got Colonial Oaks, we got Douglas Park. I never lived in Douglas Park, but my cousins and all that did, so I spent a lot of time in Douglas Park, man. Douglas Park is another one of these apartment complexes that is, you can just tell, look at it, man. You can just tell it's gutter out here. Look at this place. You know what I mean? You can just tell it's gutter out here in Douglas Park. Just look at this place, bro. So Douglas Park, I never lived there, but I spent a lot of my time in Douglas Park. Really, really, really hood out there, man. I mean, look at this crap, dude. Look at these apartments with them staircases all the way up there. Look at this, dude. This is Douglas Park, man. It's hood out there. It really is. So, anyways, let me show you guys where I went to school. So even though, be careful in Montgomery, bro. I hear Montgomery is really dangerous, man. You stay safe out there, man. Well, so even though I lived in South Louisville, on the south side, they made me go to school in the West End because they have this thing called the desegregation laws, which means if you live in a white neighborhood, you get bused to a black neighborhood. So what they didn't take into account when they did this is that South Side was already diverse because there's everybody there. So even though I lived in a diverse neighborhood, the issue was black and white. So because predominantly Southside was now Southside's black. Back then it was white. So because back then it was white, they would bus me all the way to the West End to Whitney Young Elementary School. I think now it's called Young Elementary School. I guess they changed the name. But back then it was called Whitney Young Elementary School. I guess now they call it Young Elementary School. Well, anyways, back then, now Southside's black because they got rid of the projects, and since Southside was the crappier area, all the people in the projects moved to Southside. So now Southside became a black area because in Louisville, they're trying to get rid of. I lived in the Busico Bank Apartments. Yeah, I'm not sure where that's at. I'll look it up though. So this is a school that I went to, Whitney Young Elementary School. Very 90% African American out here. There it is, Whitney Young Elementary School. This is the school that I went to. All my classmates were African American, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I never had a problem with black people. Never. The first word that I learned how to say in English, I went to this school from kindergarten all the way up to 4th grade. And the first word that I learned in English, I cannot say it right now, but you go figure what the first word that I learned in English was. The first word that I learned how to say in English was, "What's up, ma?" But of course, I'm not gonna say that now. But yeah, I could. That's the first thing they taught me how to say, man, in English. And the teachers were like, they weren't really happy about me screaming, "What's up, my brother?" But that was what they taught me, and they treated me like a brother the whole time. I never had a problem. But I will say this: if you were white American, they treated you like garbage. The black kids. They treated the black kids. The black kids treated the white kids really, really bad. It was really sad, actually. They treated. We used to play baseball right here. Oh, here they're playing baseball. See how they're playing baseball? So when we used to play baseball here, the black kids would just spend the whole time trying to hit the white kid with a baseball. That was playing baseball. They were just. It was just they hated the white kids. They really, really hated the white kids. But me as a Cuban, I never had a problem, and all my friends were black. And actually, if you look at this school, you see Latinos, you see black, white. It looks very diverse. Looks like a really good mix of kids now. This photo was taken in 2019. So, yeah, I got memories right here. Lots of memories right here. This was the school that I went to. Lots of memories. And again, never, ever had a problem here. And it really is the hood back there. It's dangerous. Off Bardstown Road. Okay, let's look it up, man. Let's look it up. Let's look that up real quick. It's called Boozy. It's Boozy. What's it called? I'm tired, y'all. Banks. I don't know if this exists anymore, man. Nope. I didn't want to find it. I didn't want to find it, man. It was like, nope. I didn't want to find it, man. Alright. I didn't want to find it. I tried. But yeah, I mean, that's Louisville, Kentucky, man. That's pretty much where a lot of my childhood was spent. Really hood out there. I mean, it's... I think Louisville is one of the most hood cities in the South. Just because people don't go to the hood, they don't know how hood it is out there. But, man, and you know what's weird about Louisville, Kentucky is they actually have white hoods in Louisville, Kentucky. They got, your spelling might, maybe it was bushel. It might be bush. Like that. It might be like that. There it is. Yeah. This is it right here. Yeah, there's a lot of Cubans in that area though. Bardstown Forest, yeah. That's on the east. Let's see. That's not east then. Yeah, you're way out east, bro. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even that bad on the east side, bro. There's a lot of Cubans out there. That's what I do know about this area. That area is packed with Cubans. So this area is not too bad. South side's a lot worse, especially back in the 90s. Oh, it's pretty, bro. It's nice. It looks a lot better than where I used to live, I'll tell you that much. This kind of looks like Alabama, where I'm at now. This looks exactly like Alabama. Kentucky and Alabama look very similar. Like, if you told me this was Alabama, I wouldn't even doubt it. It looks exactly like where I live now in Alabama. So, yeah, there it is, man. Yeah, it's spelled, Butch or like whatever. I don't know how it's spelled. Yeah. So, yeah, the east side's not that bad. But, man, that west end... there's a neighborhood called Portland. The worst neighborhood in Louisville. Here's what's ironic about Louisville. The worst neighborhood in Louisville is actually Portland, and it's actually a Irish neighborhood. So this is actually the poorest neighborhood in Louisville. And I got friends that live there. And I spent some time. It's really trashy there, and it's actually the worst neighborhood in Louisville is this one. It's an Irish, even though the West End's the worst end because it's black, but Portland is a white neighborhood inside of all the black neighborhoods. There's this little pocket of Irish people. And trust me when I say it is absolutely the most ghetto-licious place in Louisville. It's the lowest real estate, highest crime, poorest everything is this neighborhood here. And is that a pigeon? That's a pigeon. There's so much to soak in on this property. Anyways, this is the Portland neighborhood, very poor. And these houses, a lot of them, they're missing the floors. You see these houses like this on the outside, you have no idea how bad these houses are on the inside. You get inside of these houses in Louisville, man, and it's just like, wow. The floors have fallen, the frame is falling through. I mean, you can pretty much tell this is very, very, like, this guy's got beer cans on a shopping cart here. You got, I'm only 6 hours away from Louisville. I want to get up there soon. I just haven't had the money. I just moved here in Montgomery, so I don't want to start traveling already. These houses in Louisville, man, I've been inside them. They're in Look at this guy. This guy's got beer cans on a shopping cart. Little cat, shopping carts, garbage cans. This is like real poverty, man. And this is a white neighborhood. This is not a black neighborhood. This is a white neighborhood. It's actually the worst neighborhood in Louisville. It's not a black neighborhood. It's actually a white neighborhood. It's an Irish neighborhood, Portland. This area is rough. And they actually got some big house. I mean, you can tell just by looking at the cars and the junk and stuff that this is, you got some black people in there, but it's mostly white. I know this girl right here, you can't really tell, maybe mixed. But yeah, you can tell, like, most of the people that pick up scrap metal and all that. And do you think the Gators pigeons are worth the money? Reminds me of my hometown, Toledo. Yeah, Toledo's trashy too, bro. Yeah, Toledo's got some hoods. Like, you tell people there's white hoods, they don't believe you, but they're out there. My Gators pigeons, they are good, but, I wouldn't recommend spending a lot of money on pigeons, man. It's just a hobby, you know what I mean? People get so carried away with pigeons and all that. They are good pigeons. My favorite pigeons are Hofkins, but anyways, we're talking about real estate on this channel. Not really pigeons right now. But anyways, if you can afford it, do it. But if you're poor, don't spend $1,000 on a pigeon, bro. It's just because it's got a pedigree. Especially right now, man. Most pigeon clubs are dying right now. So if most pigeon clubs are dying, why are you going to spend thousands of dollars on a pigeon? Right now, it just isn't the time to be doing that, brother. So if you have a lot of money, you want to buy it, that's fine. But if you're poor, don't spend money on expensive pigeons, brother. Pass on that, Right now here in Alabama, we used to have 3 pigeon clubs. I think there's only one left in Birmingham. So most pigeon clubs are in really bad health. So it seems pretty stupid. A sport that's going in the wrong direction, most people are quitting the sport for you to start buying expensive pedigree animals. I would say don't, brother. So yeah, this is Louisville, Kentucky, Portland neighborhood. I want to get up there to do some hood vlogs for you guys. It's really hood out there. I mean, look at this. You got scrap metal collectors out there, people that pick up beer cans. I mean, it's trashy up there. I don't even think Montgomery is as trashy as Louisville, to be honest. I really don't. And look at this. It's like I said, it's a white neighborhood. You see, it's an Irish neighborhood. But that little baby looks like it might be mixed. There's a lot of mixed people, too, in Kentucky. They're definitely Irish, probably. So it's a white neighborhood, but it's a very dangerous, poor white neighborhood. Lots of addiction. It's trashy. I mean, I don't even think Montgomery's as trashy as Louisville. I'm not sure if Montgomery is like that. I mean, I've been over Montgomery. They got some rough neighborhoods here. But Louisville's like 700,000 people. Montgomery is like 200,000. So Louisville's like so much bigger. You know what I mean? Than Montgomery. So I think overall, Louisville might be worse. And again, the Montgomery murder rate is about twice as much. But keep in mind that Louisville's a lot bigger. So it's actually a bigger area of hood. So yeah, this is where I grew up. It's really hood out there. Thanks for the advice. Shameless. Reminds me of... Yeah, it's pretty bad out there. I mean, it's a poor area. I mean, it's a really poor white area. It's just so... lack of education. People are addicted to smoking. They're addicted to playing lottery. They're addicted to a bunch of illegal substances. So... just they don't have a positive outlook. They smoke, they drink, they don't take care of their health, they eat unhealthy. It's just a place where people don't have a lot of respect for themselves. I mean, I lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's got some great areas, but man, when you get into those poor neighborhoods in Louisville, Kentucky, it is depressing. It really is. But anyways, Camden, New Jersey is pretty bad. The show Shameless on Showtime. I don't know what it's about. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I know Camden, New Jersey is pretty crappy. No doubt about that. I don't like the Northeast. It just seems, even the nice areas I don't like. So Camden is right next to Philadelphia. And actually, Newark has a lot, even though Camden has a worse reputation, there are a lot of jobs in the area in Camden. So actually, Newark, New Jersey is actually a whole lot worse than Camden. It doesn't have as much of a reputation, but I think, yeah, I had friends in Louisville, Kentucky, and they were from New Jersey, and they were telling us how bad the hoods were in New Jersey. So they lived in New Jersey, and they lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and they were like, dude, this is nothing compared to Camden, New Jersey. So, no, they were in Newark, New Jersey. So, I thought Louisville was dangerous. They're like, dude, this is actually nice compared to New Jersey. So, and I thought Louisville, Kentucky was bad. Well, Camden, New Jersey, way worse. Guys, it's 3 in the morning almost. It's 2:40. It's nice to have a little chat with you guys about different places and affordable housing. I'm going to let you guys go. I need to get some sleep. My eyes are bloodshot red. I need to take a shower, get some rest. I can't believe I actually stayed up this late with you guys. So, y'all have a beautiful night. Stay out of trouble. And keep working hard for whatever you're doing. Don't give up. Keep working hard. Make some goals and try to reach them, y'all. Love you guys. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I need to get some sleep, y'all. Dead tired. Pretty much, we're going to end this live stream, y'all. Like, really, need to end it. I'm tired. Y'all have a good night, man. Don't buy expensive pigeons.